let's go into some other key fixtures in the league. Now we spoke about Spurs. Spurs is top, and next weekend they're going to be playing against Chelsea. Chelsea played away to Newcastle this season, and Frank Lampard described it as their most professional performance.
I cannot argue with those comments. I'm not a Frank Lampard fan, but I have to give him props for these run of clean sheets. Thiago Silva dropped out the team, and he still kept a clean sheet. The only detractor against it, I can say, it's Newcastle. They're not very strong offensively, and they lost Callum Wilson, so their goal threat wasn't that much, because who they get in striker? They were playing Joao Linton.
Yeah,
my God, that man is terrible.
Yeah.
My God, that man is terrible. So to me, Newcastle, a bit like Man City, they need to sort out their striking position, especially when it comes to the backup.
Mr. Poe, how do you see this game?
For me,
as far as Chelsea's caliber,
for me, I was the one player that really impressed me, even though he had a lot of missed chances, was Timo Werner. Funny enough, because even though he missed his opportunities, he kept putting himself in those positions.
Yeah,
and I like that about a striker. Like, even though you do miss your opportunities, you come back, you try to take opportunities, you learn from your mistakes. So that is what I saw from him. As in, like, no, that was a decent performance from him. Obviously, goalie has changed in Mendy.
Mendy's a good keeper.
Mendy's a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah. We need more black keepers in the Premier League, guys.
Yeah.
Mendy has convinced me otherwise.
He's doing the Lord's work. So yeah, from that point of view, it was a great performance from Chelsea. They can move forward and take something away from this game. So it's good for them.
Yeah. Now a talking point from this game. Now I thought Chelsea was dominant in this game, as you'd sort of expect them to be. Yeah. Right? It's against Newcastle. I think we'd be more surprised if they weren't dominant. Kudos to them for being so dominant. But so Chelsea played 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Right? And their midfield three was Kovacic, Kante in his central defensive position, and Mason Mount.
Yeah.
I thought Mason Mount had a fantastic performance, but I want to speak about Kante. Kante in that position, you kind of saw the two sides to Kante as far as what the recent managers have had.
Yeah.
Kante in that central defensive position, anytime you dare have 3 touches against Kante, like defensively, he showed us everything.
Yeah.
That Kante is, but on the ball wasn't that much. So you can see where the argument comes to say play Jorginho in that position.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, he stopped goals, and there's Timo Werner up front. So what do we think about the composition of Chelsea's team? Because they've had a lot of signings. We saw Timo Werner play in off the left with Tammy Abraham up front as the focal point.
Yeah.
Mr. Curtis, how viable do you see that being?
I remember I had this conversation
with Ziyech on the right.
I had this conversation with you, Lucas, when Timo Werner was playing at Leipzig, and you expect him to play up front, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna play on the wing because they have that target man. I think that's where he's best suited in that Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Right. I think if Chelsea are going to continually win games and compete for the league, it'll be Kante over Jorginho for me, because I'm a very firm believer of he's a CDM. Let him do a CDM job. Not everybody's a ball player. What's Jorginho doing over there? He's going to pass from side to side. Great. But when you come up against better opposition, what's Jorginho going to offer you? Nothing. Right? So if they play Conte consistently and they play him in his favorite position, Chelsea will challenge. But then if they try and think and say, okay, fine, let's get more ball playing midfielders in there who can do this. Because who's the CDM? Great teams always have a great CDM. Chelsea had Makelele. Arsenal had Patrick Vieira. Man United had Roy Keane. What are the other great teams we can mention that had great CDMs? Right? Even with Makelele, he went from Madrid. They were title-winning club. Moved to Chelsea. Madrid fell right off because they had no CDM. So you got to start looking at places. Sometimes you got to look at a player's position and say, okay, fine, I have this type of player. He's best suited in this type of position. Let me not try funny tactics and play him up front. They tried to play Kante as a number 10 at one stage. No. Yeah. Play him as a CDM. Let him do his job. And when he does his job well, he will stop goals. You worry about the person next to him being able to find the pass. And that's how I view it.
Mr. Potion, did you see any, because the jury's still out on Chelsea, did you see anything in this game that sort of gives you hope in them, or gives you a bit of comfort in them that says they will be at the top of the league come the end of the season?
I think you're asking the wrong person, since I'm an Arsenal supporter, but seeing any hope about them ending up on top of the league. But signs of them, ending up in top 4, they have a lot of attacking options, goal attacking options in Timo Werner, in Tammy Abraham. Ziyech was a bit quiet in this game, but he did well. Yeah, he did well. He's also an option. Mason Mount, you can't deny that he's a
I thought he was man of the match.
Yeah,
I still don't like that chant. I don't like him.
Exceptional talent. But yeah, I think they have a pretty good team. Squad depth as well. I mean, if you look at it, Thiago Silva went out, Rudiger fit in like a glove. Yeah. And yeah, you really can't deny that. Yeah. Even when I think Emerson also came on.
He came on in the 80th for Ben Chilwell. Yeah, he
came on for Ben Chilwell. You could still see he's fulfilling the role that Ben Chilwell does. So they do have the depth. You got to give it to them.
So Chelsea's next fixture is against Spurs. How do we see that fixture playing out?
Here on the chopping block, I'm going to give it a draw.
Score, draw, 0-0.
I'll give it a 1-1. Mm-hmm. I see Mourinho going to defend, as always. I see Chelsea scoring 1 goal, right? Because as we were talking about depth in the Chelsea squad, I feel they do have options. If Tammy Abraham doesn't do it, you get Giroud on the pitch. He's 1-2 play, brilliant. All right. I remember when he was playing at Arsenal, Walcott scored a lot of goals that season as well. So Frank Lampard, if he uses his options correctly, he'll do well. Chelsea will win that game if they do not play Jorginho. Keep that man on the bench, and Chelsea will do well because Conte will keep whoever's in Tottenham's midfield quiet.
Now, you've been vocal about your thinking of Frank Lampard's abilities as a coach. Chelsea is kind of in a run now where they're putting together clean sheets because you've called Chelsea out for the number of goals they concede. They've plugged the goalkeeper gap. They're conceding less goals. Do you think there'll be title challenges?
Title challenges until March, just like they were last season. They'll do well, and then when things go against them, because in management, the man management comes for you when things go against you. All right? Mm-hmm. Things haven't gone against Frank Lampard this season too much. All right? So what's going to happen when March hits and he's in the Champions League and he loses 7-2 to Bayern again? Yeah. What's going to happen? Are they going to falter? Are they going to win again? Can he motivate his team to come and play well? I doubt. Frank Lampard is white privilege. That's all I can say about the chat.
Fair enough. Now we've talked about Chelsea as in things have gone well for them. Let's talk about a team.